And welcome back, my name is Sensei-pong, and this is To Be or Not To Be. A little interactive fiction-y thing game by Tin Man Games, available on Steam. Whatever. What do? So what do? Our brother is talking about how we shouldn't be getting down with Hamlet, because stuff, and it's bad etiquette, and it could ruin our lives. And taking to note that this is, Renaissance Europe, so those things matter a heck of a lot more than they do now, with the way society has gone downhill in terms of sexuality and open relationships and everything, where everybody just sleeps and parties and drinks all day. Not saying they didn't do that back then, because they did, but there was more higher social standards to meet, and if you didn't meet those social standards, you'd be looked down upon very severely. And I'm not supporting either, I'm just saying that's how it was. So let's take that in consideration for the times, and sit down beside him for some reason and tell him that he makes a lot of sense somehow, and you'll do as he says. Only because this little Yorick skull with the bow is absolutely adorable, and because of that, I'm clicking on it. Really? And yeah, I know it's a little bit sexist to be playing this route, but lay off, man. This is how the story goes, because the little Yorick skull told me so. Okay. You sit down on the bed and tell him you'll do as he says, and that you sincerely appreciate his meddling in your personal life. And then you go on to say that if you're going to abstain from sex before marriage, then he should be careful too, which is a good idea for everybody. Do that. Wait until you get married. It's a very good thing. It is a very good thing. And personally, I regret not doing it myself. A little bit of personal Pong life right there. But you should definitely do it. It's a very good standard to and moral to abide to. Because people do too much stuff, and then you're gonna get a higher chance of getting STDs. That's another way to look at it. Man, I'm getting kind of deep for my channel. But let's turn up this music, because this is serious stuff. And this is good music for this kind of serious talk. Because if you don't sleep around, what are your chances of getting an STD? Yeah, they're still there, but chances are higher if you're partying all the time. Wow, and that's getting too loud. Either way, let us carry on, because this is the wrong kind of channel for that kind of conversation, but that's where I stand. Abide by the morals, everybody. Like and subscribe. And if you don't agree with me, like and subscribe. And then you go on to say that if you're going to abstain from sex before marriage, then he should be careful too, because he sleeps around way more than you do. Oh, I should have read the whole thing, but yeah. And it's going to be one heck of a sexual double standard if you're damned goods, and he's totally fine. Yes, it is a double standard, that's right. I didn't even give you a choice about saying that or not, because you keep choosing the stupid options. Guess you're gonna have to deal with it, huh? Yes. In any case, there's a knock on your door, and before you can answer, your father, Polonius, opens the door. Normally when you knock, you wait for someone to let you in, Dad. You say, "You're an idiot if you think Hamlet loves you," he says. Then he notices Laertes in your room too. "Oh hey, Laertes, have fun on your trip. To thine own self be true." Laertes nods. "I already told her she's slutty," he says. Now, do we kick them both out and slam the door in their faces? Or, I guess, smile and nod and pat the empty spot on the bed beside you and Laertes, inviting Polonius to sit down too, because that is something a person would do. And only because there's a little Yorick skull there. Actually, you know what? Let's mix it up. Kick them both out and slam it in their face. BAM! That felt great. Laertes shouts through the door, and he's sorry and just wanted to say goodbye before he left for France. And Polonius shouts that Hamlet only wants to get his hands on your body. "Who wants to suck it?" he shouts. You open the door and say, "I appreciate your concern, but I can take care of myself," which is more than they deserve, and you close the door again. Through the door you can hear Larides and Polonius talking. "Hey, listen, while you're in France, give every man thine ear, but few thy voice, Polonius says, and then pauses, then says, "That's some primo advice right there, I gotta say." You roll your eyes and return to your desk. Oh, our choices return to desk. At your desk, you continue to work on the problem of automatically heating the castle. Hours turn into days, and you're generally left alone by both your family and your boyfriend. Your father ignoring you is no big deal, and while you're a little worried about Hamlet not stopping by more often, he has asked you to leave him alone for a while he mourns, and you're respecting his wishes. But if you're going to be honest with yourself, you've also just gotten really absorbed in this problem. You decide to split the problem into sections, delivering heat and knowing when to deliver heat. This game has turned into an AC heating quest of vent systems. It would be possible to put servants in every room and have them report when it's too cold, but that's both expensive and unreliable. It depends on the servant, the warmth of their clothes, how much they love to lie to people about what temperature their skin is sensing, and so on. You're wandering the castle grounds when it hits you. You've been thinking about how water expands when it freezes, and how that could be used to tell you when it's cold, but it's not much used for measuring temperatures outside the freezing point. Your father, Polonius, happens to wander by, talking to himself about the evils of drink, and you realize, alcohol! The right alcohol would expand linearly with heat, and by putting it into a standard glass vial, you can measure the size of liquid, which would correspond one by one with temperature. We're inventing a thermometer. By the same markings on each of these glass vials, at the same temperatures, you've got a universal, comparable, and consistent way of measuring heat. You wouldn't have to rely on servants' impression. They could just tell you what line the alcohol has reached. You run back to your room and start working on the prototype. Just as you complete it, you hear a knock at your door. "Who's that?" you call. And oh my, who should answer from the other side of the door? Seriously, who should answer from the other side of the door? Your boyfriend Hamlet, your father Polonius, or your best friend Dramasiminimus. I can never pronounce that name. I fail at my knowledge of literature here. But yes. Again, our choices are who's behind the door. Hamlet, Polonius, or dorA.thI. I think that's going to be decided here on next time, Sensei to be or not to be Pong. Like and subscribe.